friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today is my feelings and vibe about this whole definitive edition or remastered edition games that we're seeing and hearing so much about. There's been so much buzz on Twitter and Facebook and on YouTube about it. I've never seen so many polarizing opinions on something that, in my opinion, really isn't an issue. It's a non-issue. If people don't want to buy these new definitive edition games or remastered games, you don't have to buy them. I think that perhaps there's a fear that if they're getting this, they aren't getting something else. That, we're taking, development teams away from brand new IPs and games so we can have more of this. The problem is, where a lot of this is coming from is because of all the jaded reviews and games and game reviewers that have shot down so many wonderful games. Like Wolfenstein from '09, Singularity, Spec Ops: Align. I mean, just recently Jaeger said, sadly, no, there won't be another Spec Ops: Align. It was ill-received. People didn't like it. They didn't care about the story. To them, it was just another uninnovative third-person shooter. And because of so many overly critical game reviews and how it goes like wildfire across the net, I'll watch game reviews within 24 hours, and at first you'll get kind of both. You get positive and negative. Some people love the games, but within just a couple days, it becomes fashionable to bag on the game, tear it apart. And so we can't be surprised that we get no new IPs. It's just more of the same. We're going to rehash Call of Duty again, Battlefield again. I don't know if they'll bring back the Gears of War series. I wouldn't be surprised. Halo again. And those are great franchises that people are excited. They don't care. They want a Halo 5. They want a Forza 5 or a Forza 6 or a Forza Horizon 2. And I can understand that. I like a lot of those franchises too. I'm not one of these anti-Call of Duty people. I like the franchise. I'm just not a multiplayer gamer. I'd like to see them do a HD remaster of World at War. Would be awesome. That you could play this today on a contemporary TV, even with split screen. I mean, I played this whole game in co-op with my nephew and had an incredible amount of fun with it. I'd like to see like an HD remastered series of the original World War II games. So you get something like this, perhaps Call of Duty 2 and 3 all in a box set, remastered, like a World War II, I guess, trilogy, if you will. I think would be a great idea. But it's not something that everyone's crazy about. There'd probably be more of a likelihood of a Modern Warfare trilogy being remastered, sadly, than a Call of Duty, World at War, or a WW2 deal. But everyone has their opinions. Just recently, we just heard that we're going to have Sleeping Dogs, which I personally was excited. I heard the news. I go, great, another wonderful winner. I love this game to death. I bought tons of DLC for this. And it was worth it for me, for the extra cars and weapon packs and stuff like that. I personally like this. I love the DLC for this. I have had an incredible amount of hours in this game. I love this game and would welcome to have an immersive HD remake of this. I love being in Hong Kong with the neon, and I was envious of the PC gamers that had the special texture pack that could see the city even more vibrant and more detailed than the console counterparts. So for me personally, as a visual person, I'm excited about seeing this trend. I don't feel we need to see every game remade, especially ones that were just a year old or so, or 2 years old. But I think there's nothing wrong with the trend. I've also got, Grand Theft Auto 5 pre-ordered. And again, what I think you're seeing with some of these games, I think with Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, it wasn't just like, okay, we're going to just do it and take the PC one and port it over, for the consoles. You're getting a completely new animations of Lara Croft. Her face looks almost real. It's not even the same face. The skin has like a translucent, incredible quality. The textures have been redone. It's at 60 frames a second. And if you think it doesn't make any difference between 30 frames a second and 60 frames a second, you really should play a game like this and experience it. It's unbelievable. I played the first level alone in this, and it was like a night and day difference. The same thing with The Last of Us. I cannot believe the quality of how this game looks. And I thought it looked amazing on the PS3. It pushed the PS3 to the hilt, but it looks and plays even better on this. So to me, it's well worth it. I don't know if I can afford every remastered game that comes out when it comes out brand new, but I'll buy them as I can afford them. and I like the trend. I bought the original Star Wars on VHS and spent a lot of money for them. I had them on video disc on my old RCA video disc machine, and then I bought later, special edition VHS Star Wars, and then I bought the VHS widescreen editions, collector's editions of Star Wars, and then I bought, the DVDs of it, and then finally the Blu-rays. So, and the same thing, with the Alien anthology. I've done the same damn thing. I bought it so many times. So this is something I'm already used to, as many of you are. If you bought something on VHS, your favorite movies, the Blade Runner, let's say, why wouldn't you buy it? I bought the special edition of the Blade Runner. It comes with a 4-disc set on DVD. Now, I haven't upgraded that yet on Blu-ray, but I probably will. I've seen the movie, 30-something times at least. Why would you buy it again? Because you can. As a visual person, I'm a visual person. I'm not a real high-tech person. I don't know shit about computers. So to me, I just like a console. I don't have to think about specs and, do I have the latest version of this graphics card? Can I run this at max settings? Or do I have to... I just want to put the game in and play it. I'm a simple-minded person in that respect. So for me, I love consoles. I love the ability for spend $400 for a console and play games that look very close to like what they would look like on a PC. And I know many PC gamers, it's not near as good as a PC at high settings. But again, I don't care. I'm not going to play them on a PC. I'm going to play these on a console. So I want to see and experience both of these games and Grand Theft Auto 5 in the best possible clarity that I can, with the best graphics. But there's even not just better graphics, you're getting actually more pedestrians, more cars on the streets. It's going to like breathing life into an already pretty impressive city. The water effects, the lighting effects, the trees, the foliage, the grass, everything looks much more in depth. It takes you're paying for a much more immersive experience, in my opinion. It's not for everyone. It'll be the same with Sleeping Dogs, but sure. Now, I don't know if this will be at 60 frames per second. Maybe they'll have some wrinkles. I think there's going to be like every 20-odd extra DLC packs you'll get with this. Now, again, I paid only $50 for this. This had been out a little bit. It went from 60 to $50. I only paid $50 for this, and I'm not complaining. And I think I only paid $50 for The Last of Us, too. Now, if I waited a little while, I might have been able to get this for $39.99. Who knows? But I'm happy to support the gaming companies that I like, that are making the games and trends that I personally like. I don't think every game needs to be redone. We're certainly not going to get reboots of everything. I think initially, I saw this trend early on with the Killzone trilogy. And they took the very first Killzone that was a PS2 exclusive, and they brought it up to speed so you could enjoy it on the PS3, and it really does look better. I remember Mark Bussler had talked about this and how much he liked the original Killzone. So I was intrigued to play this. So when I started playing this and saw it with better graphics, and I also had the PS2 version and could see the difference, I was a welcome trend. I said, well, that's great. It's a great trend. We saw it with the, there was a Hitman trilogy with Blood Money and some of the other Hitman games that were very popular that I played and enjoyed at the day. I remember buying, I don't have it anymore, but I bought for the PS3 a Splinter Cell trilogy in HD, which I thought it looked beautiful, it looked wonderful. I think I gave it to one of my nephews or something. I also got Medal of Honor, back in 2010, and it comes right here. You can barely see it, but it has the Medal of Honor Frontline in HD, remastered in HD, and it's on the PS3. I think you can also download this off the PlayStation Network for the PS3, and it looks and plays amazing, much better than it did on the PS2. So we've kind of already seen this trend with the HD remakes, and I think there's also a Metal Gear Solid one as well. Just recently I haven't even played it yet. I already had its Deus Ex Human Revolutions. Now there's a director's cut with even better graphics. They tweaked the boss battles. It looks visually even more intense and realistic. Sadly, for whatever reason, you can't install this game on the Xbox 360. I don't know why. I don't know if they rushed it. They didn't care. So I'm kind of confused as to whether I should play this version uninstalled or go back and play the original version installed. But here's another, Square Enix again, taking something and refining it. So I don't have an issue with it. If it's a wonderful franchise that many people love and appreciate, then it's worth it. If you don't like the game, you don't have to get it. 2012, I got the Doom BFG edition. Now, this was a fantastic remake. They redid the whole game on the Rage game engine for the game Rage that id Software did, and it looks and plays wonderful. Now, they've changed some of the mechanics with the flashlight and how much ammo you can find now and stuff. Some people whine and complain about it. I personally liked it. I never liked toggling between the flashlight and the gun, but that's just me on Doom 3 on my original Xbox, as much as I love that game. But this is a welcome surprise. I love this. It even comes, and it was like $40 brand new, and it comes with Doom 1 and Doom 2, plus all the expansion packs and everything. I like the trend, so I've been watching this trend. I just recently got brand new on the internet, Factory Seal, a Game of the Year edition of Fallout 3. It comes with all the 5 DLC packs or whatever. So I've been watching the trend with great interest. I like it that you can buy one copy that has all the DLC in it, like Sniper Elite V2, the Silver Star Edition. I already bought all of the DLC, and I basically rebought it again, but I love the game so much. So I gave my other copy to a friend, and I got this, I ended up for the Silver Star Edition. So it has all the patches, all the DLC. I can put it in 10 years from now and enjoy it the way it was meant to be enjoyed, with everything in it, which is a great deal. I also got recently, the BioShock 1 and 2. It comes with all the DLC as well. So these aren't really remasters, but I saw the trend early on with this, and I think that part of it that people aren't realizing, we saw this before. Not so much with HD, 1080p graphic deals, but we saw them with games from when we went from the console, from the Xbox and PlayStation 2, and then segued into the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. We saw 2 versions of Need for Speed. It came out originally on the PS3, on the PS2 and on the Xbox, and I played this game all the way through on the Xbox and loved the hell out of it. I just recently picked up again a mint copy of the original Most Wanted, which is still one of my favorites to this day, because I love this game. And it does look substantially better on the 360. Now, some people think well, why did you buy it twice? You already had it on the Xbox. Because I could. I wanted the better graphics. I played this recently. Of course, it doesn't hold up as well as the fantastic graphics on like Need for Speed Rivals today for the PlayStation 4, but it still is wonderful to play it in its optimal setting. Flat Out Ultimate Carnage. I played this Flat Out 2, it was called, if I'm correct. I played this on the original Xbox as well and loved it. And I found a mint copy of this, Ultimate Carnage. It has much more particle effects, much more debris on the roads. It looks visually stunning. It looked fantastic on the original Xbox and on the PlayStation 2, but it looks even better on this. We saw the same thing with Call of Duty 3. You could play it on the original Xbox or on the Xbox 360. So we're kind of seeing the same thing all over. Again, it was multi-ports, and the same thing with Sniper Elite V3. Right from the get-go, you can buy that on both systems. Godfather the game on the Xbox 360. And I had played this on, completely on the original Xbox, and it looked wonderful. But it looks even better. I've seen graphical comparisons, and it looks so much better. So why not buy it again? I even have the strategy guide for this, and it's just neat. It's just, I like buying the better editions. Some people couldn't afford the Xbox 360 like myself. I had to wait 5 years for one. So I had to play all of these on the original Xbox, every one of these, and I wasn't complaining. I really wanted, in my heart of hearts, to own the Xbox 360, but I said, I'll make do. And when I get an Xbox 360, I'm going to buy them all again, and I did. And there's many more of these that were, kind of multi-plat type games. Again, I got Star Trek Remastered. I bought this, and I've taped all 79 episodes on VHS, which I still have. So you want to see them in their original form on a cheesy CRT television, via the actual TV signals, not cable TV. I have them all taped with 1985 and 86 TV commercials in between all the commercial breaks, which is actually pretty entertaining to watch looking back on it. But, and I bought them again on VHS, and I get them on, finally on DVD. And this is actually the DVD, and then on the flip side of each disc, you get the HD DVDs as well, which are kind of phased out now. There's still a few people who find them interesting to collect for, but they look fantastic. Now, what's nice is that they kept the original special effects in keeping with the 60s. and didn't really take anything away from it. Like they did, kind of like Lucas did when he did the prequels of Star Wars. He just went like overboard with the special effects and crazy intricate detail. This, they kept the simplicity and the flavor of the 60s in it, and it's a great, and it's a welcome thing. I paid $156 for this on the internet for these, and it was worth every penny. I love these, and I'll probably buy these again on Blu-ray just because I can, and one of my friends will probably get, you know, the original set. So to me, I don't have an issue with it. We want new IPs for sure, but because so many people have snobbed and thought and took great delight in putting these games down, now we no longer get them. So we're going to have more of the same. You probably won't see another Bulletstorm. You probably won't see a game like the Saboteur, and many of these wonderful games that came out. It's sad, you know. I would like to see a lot more remakes. I mean, I'd like to see a remake of, you know, Return to Castle Wolfenstein would be fantastic. I would love to see an HD remake of this, or maybe, you know, even a couple of the older ones combined in like a box set, all remastered. I doubt it will be done. You know, it probably will never happen. I would love to see an HD remake or a reboot of the Manhunt series by Rockstar. I mean, this would be a I mean, it's okay for them to make this new Mortal Kombat with much grosser and hardcore graphics than anything in both of the Manhunt 1 or 2s, but we probably won't see it because of the controversy around this initially. But I love this Manhunt series. I would love to see another Manhunt, you know, game, or even see this in like an HD remake or something, so you could play it on a contemporary console. But it is what it is. I wouldn't be offended if Rockstar wanted to do a remastered version of LA Noire. I mean, it has to look even better with better graphics on a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One would be incredible. But I don't know. I think the game sold pretty well, but I don't know that they would do that. I certainly would like to see a sequel to it, but we'll see. I don't know if we ever get that. Max Payne 3, I could go either way. I wouldn't mind, frankly, an HD remake of this, and you may think that's silly, but I would play it, and I would pay for it full price. If nothing else, at least give us a Max Payne 4, because I'd love to play more of this. This was a real gem. Grand Theft Auto 4, recently I've seen incredible PC mods, kind of with the same engine that they do GTA 5 with, and this game looks incredible from what I've seen. I wouldn't mind an HD remake of this. I wasn't a big fan of the game in comparison to some of the other GTA games like Vice City or GTA 3 or even the new GTA 5, but I would welcome a sequel to that as well. Who knows? Like I mentioned before, World at War would be great. They could have a Far Cry, you know, trilogy possibly with an HD remake. I would buy it. You know, for one, wouldn't have an issue with it. Again, if it's something that you don't like, it's okay. I mean, you simply just don't have to get it. But don't, you know, throw a wet blanket over someone else if they show or express an interest in paying for it. Don't make them feel bad because they want to rebuy something. Now, naturally, it sucks to spend $60 for a game and then rebuy it again for $50 or $60. I understand. Some people think, oh, it may be worth $20. It's more like an expansion pack or something like that. They shouldn't charge full price. None of us want to pay full price for anything. I wish I could go out and buy a new car and didn't have to spend over $30K for one. I would love to go back to 1980 prices again and get a car for $14,000, but those days are gone. Frankly, considering that games were $50 on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, you know, many years ago in the mid-2000s, the fact that we're only paying $10 more all these years later, we've never had it so good. Games are the cheapest they've ever been. I would love to see an HD, you know, remastered version of Rage with maybe some additional DLC or something thrown in. And I have all the sewer missions and DLC for this and love this. But sadly, because the game was shot down by Jaded Game Reviews and a lot of people panned it, and it certainly did have some issues on the PC and the PS3 in particular, we probably will never see, you know, anything. We won't even see a sequel to this, sadly. So that's why we're getting so many of these remastered, because great games like this are pissed on, and then we just get more of the same, which is sad. So it's a two-edged sword, unfortunately. Mafia 2. This one, you know, I don't know how well it did for 2K games, but I would love to see a remastered version of this with all the DLC. And they even have a version of this you can get with all the DLC. I saw it recently, and probably will pick it up, even though I have I have most of the DLC for this. But I don't know. If nothing else, bring us a sequel to Mafia 2, a wonderful, immersive game. One of the finest stories I've ever seen in a video game. One of the finest time machine experiences I've ever had was playing Mafia 2 and L.A. Noire. Both wonderful games. I've heard rumors that we'll have the Uncharted games, 1, 2, and 3, perhaps in a remastered version. I've only played 1 and 2, but I would welcome it. I think it's fine. And again, if you don't want it, just don't buy it. But don't label it fraud edition. I just don't think it's necessary to degrade games or degrade something that other people are excited about. So let me know what you think in the comments. I know this is a really polarizing viewpoints on this. Now you'll have a couple schools of thought. Some people are old retro gamers that don't even play the PS3 versions of them, let alone have any love for the Xbox One or PS4 versions. So some of those people, I don't like this whole remake deal, and I think it's absurd. And frankly, but some of these people have never even played the original game, so it's easy for them. People tend to be down on what they aren't up on, and I see a lot of that today. So for retro gamers, they probably don't understand the fascination with it because they're still into playing 8-bit, 16-bit, and 32-bit games, and I love them too. I'm getting more retro consoles and retro games all the time. We have other PC gamers that are kind of the elitist. They've already played in their mind what are the finest and best versions. So they just, well, why would I want to play this on a Xbox 360 or even a remastered version when I have the superior PC version? Well, that's good for you. Good that you know how to, build your own PCs, or maybe you just went out and just spent, $3,800 on a new Alienware PC because you didn't want to have to put it together yourself. I don't know. I don't have the money for something like that, but I can appreciate all the options to fine-tune the visuals the way you like. That I like, even though I don't know jack shit about it. I can appreciate that. So, again, there'll be many schools of thought, and it's based on where they are as a gamer. The retro gamers don't understand any of this. Oh, that lasted. I heard it was a good game. Yeah, I might get to it one of these days. They don't care. They're busy playing older Mario Kart games or Zelda or something on their old Sega Genesis, a 32X. They're still playing, Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. They don't care about Crystal Dynamics and what they've done with this incredible masterpiece of immersion here. I mean, not everyone's into it. Not everyone cares about Grand Theft Auto 5. They'd rather play Grand Theft Auto 3. So naturally, a person like that, they would not value and place a value on buying these for last gen systems, let alone next gen or current gen. So it's going to be different for everyone. But I would love to hear what you have to say. Now, I tend to validate everyone's concerns. Not everyone can afford. My last rant, I talked about this value of games, or games being devalued or valued. And because I'm willing to pay $40 for a game, or $50 for a game, or $60, doesn't mean we all can, or that someone else is going to feel the same way. And I validate that. Some of us, there's games right now I just can't afford. I'm going to have to wait. I've already got way too many pre-orders out. I actually canceled, I think, one of my pre-orders already this year. I just realistically can only afford 4 or 5 new games the rest of the year. So I have a list next year I'm going to watch, and by then I'm hoping those games will drop maybe half price, and I can get them a little bit cheaper. I don't have all the time either. There's other people that they have so much time they can commit to 40 to 90 hours a week in gaming. So they play every single new game that comes out. They just blow through all of them, and it's like they got nothing to play. They're bored. They've already played Sleeping Dogs twice. They've played Tomb Raider 4 times already. So they want something new. They want to see new IP. So when they see this, maybe they get upset. Oh God, I want a new game. I don't want to play something I've already played, twice or 4 times or something. I validate that. I understand. I sadly don't have that ability because of my time constraints and a family and life and running a business and headaches and taxes and just getting tired at my age. I can't invest the hours for all-nighters and spend up all night like I used to playing games for 7-8 hours a night. I can't do it. So it's rare that I can finish the games. It's rare that I can jump from... I have a backlog of games that if I was sick and dying in a hospital or a hospice for a couple of years, I don't know that I could get through all of the games that I have, even if I had the time set aside for it. So, but yet I'm continually buying new games and new older retro games as well, which I've got a lot of PS2 and original Xbox games I've been buying, as some of you know. and it's frustrating. I mean, right now I have the new Metro Redux. Now here's a game that this studio, they already had a great game. It looks wonderful on the Xbox 360. I gave my Xbox 360 of Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light along with my Xbox 360 Elite to a friend recently that didn't have an Xbox and really wanted one. So he's delighted with that. Plus I gave him a few other games that I had, and I had duplicates of Xbox 360 games. But one of the reasons why I gave those away, and I'm going to give my friend Gary my GTA 5 and my Sleeping Dogs as well, since he hasn't played either of those games, and I know he'd enjoy both of those as open world games. But to me, I don't mind buying them again. The Metro Redux is not just getting Metro Last Light with even better graphics, and if you watch the videos on it, the graphics are substantially better. I couldn't believe the present Xbox 360 version versus the PS4 version. It looks amazing, the differences. But it's not even that. You're getting all of the different modes, all the DLC, plus you're getting Metro 2033 completely redone. They put 80 artisans from that development studio on that game over the course of a year, completely recreated all of Metro 2033. It still is roughly the same game, but they have like some new fights and new scenes, new transitions between levels. They have all the mechanics and HUD and everything, and all of the difficulty modes that you had on Last Light. So you're really getting your money's worth. I think it's not even $60, perhaps only $50. So to me personally, it's well worth the cost. It's well worth the money. I already was so excited. I paid my pre-order off for that and The Last of Us, and I'll be picking it up here in another week or so when it comes out. I think it's at the end of the month, or I think the start of next month it comes out, and I can't wait. And I get GTA 5 coming out after that, and I need to get my butt down and pre-order the Sleeping Dogs because I definitely want that. I'm excited about it. I may not be able to play all of them all the way through again. I don't know if I can put another full 100 hours into Grand Theft Auto 5 all over again like I did the first time, but I'll definitely go through the story mode again and have a great time. And then if I have the time, I'll take my time nights and enjoy the luxury of hunting down those collectibles and the submarine and the helicopters and stuff like that all over again. So to me, I like the trend. We're certainly not going to see bad games like Aliens Colonial Marines redone. I wouldn't mind if someone would finish that game and make the game they set out to do, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. But the Alien Isolation looks wonderful. So I'm excited about the new games and the new Mad Max game. Many games coming out for the new gen or next gen systems. I think it's wonderful. I can't wait. I want the new IPs too. I waited for that Wolfenstein The New Order. I waited for the Sniper Elite 3. And a lot of those games got pushed back, and to me it was worth the wait to have them tweak the games and dial them in. But to see the hate and all of the controversy over remastered games, and they even have, I've heard, I don't know too much about it, I guess there'll be the GameCube version of Resident Evil remastered. Now that I kind of am excited for. I liked the first Resident Evil a lot and played it on the PlayStation 1. I never got to play the really cool, I think it was on the GameCube. It was remastered and it looks fantastic. So I think that'll be a downloadable only in this country, and you can be able to get it on disc in Japan. I would get that. I would download that game off from whatever platform I can get it off just to experience the original game and try to bring back those memories from the PS1 days. So I'd like to hear from you, what games would you like to see remastered, and also how you feel about it, pros and cons. I validate everyone's feelings. I'm not putting my own feelings above anyone else's. We all have our viewpoints. We all have our personal thoughts and vibe on what we like and what we don't like in terms of gaming and collecting. Again, some of us are more retro gamers that really don't have a lot of love for a lot of these newer games, and some of us like both. I like both. I divide my time up. I spend 1/3 of my time with retro gaming because I love it and I miss it, and I spend the other 2/3 with new games, which I can't get enough of. So thank you very much for watching. Give me some feedback in the comments on it, and let me know. I really would love to hear your feedback. So enjoy your games and enjoy your collecting.